The Digital Lethargia bulletin board system is now live. A bulletin board system, or BBS, was a system that people would connect to post messages, send email, play games, download files, and other activities. They were popular in the 80s and early 90s before the internet became widespread. The simplest way to access the Digital Lethargia BBS is by clicking on the BBS menu item on the website and accessing it through the embedded terminal here. You can also access it over the Telnet or SSH protocols by using a client of your choice. I recommend using one that is ANSI capable, as the display won't look right otherwise. I have put some links to some clients that I have tried down here below, such as SyncTerm and ElfTelnet. To use those clients, you just need to make sure that you set your address to www.diglet.ca and use port 23 if you're using Telnet and port 22 if you're using SSH. To sign up for an account on the BBS, you simply connect, and the first time you'll get this login prompt, you'll just have to type in new. The system will then ask you some questions about your terminal capabilities. So start by hitting your backspace, and usually the defaults for the rest of these questions are fine, so you can just hit enter through them. Now you get to pick your username. And also your handle or call sign, which will generally be the same thing. And it asks for your location and for you to verify the above information. After that, it takes you to just a general stats screen about the bulletin board system and some simple rules that I will be enforcing on this board. Hit any key to continue. It generates a password for you, but you can enter in whatever you want. Obviously, I would suggest using a better password than that, but that's good for testing. Then have to verify. And then it takes you to the default settings for new user accounts. For most people, the defaults should be fine, so hit Q to quit. At this point, you'll be allowed to select an avatar that will be with any messages you post and with your profile. There are a ton of built-in ones. Let's just pick Pac-Man here, and then hit Q to quit. Q to quit again, and it will take you to the splash screen for the board. You can hit any key to continue, and it'll ask you to read your email. You can say yes or no. And it'll ask you to search all groups for unread messages that are directly addressed to yourself. Which, as it's a new user, there should be none. Now you'll finally get to the main menu. The navigation of the bulletin board system is fairly straightforward. You'll see these letters here pointing to the action that they will perform. Now, due to my age, the main draw for me on bulletin board systems were the games, so that'll be the focus of this board. And you can see under the games menu, I have divided them up by genre. So, for example, if you hit the R key, it'll take you to a list of role-playing games available on the site. One of the most popular ones, of course, was Legend of the Red Dragon, and you just hit 2 to play the game. Now, the instructions for each game should be included within the game as you load it. Each one will be a bit different on how you access it, but it should be fairly clear on the screen. The other main section to the board is the messages section. There are 2 main areas of message boards, which you can get to by hitting the J button from the main menu. They are the local board and the DovNet board. The local board is simply a series of boards that only members of this bulletin board system can access and view. And the DovNet is an inter-BBS messaging network that users of all BBSs around the world who are joined to this network can read and post to. You'd simply choose any of the boards, and you'll see at the main prompt on the bottom that it displays the current board you are in. You can also change the boards using the arrow keys at the main screen. The left and right will change between local and DovNet, and up and down will change the subboard within that area. There's also email functionality within the bulletin board itself. If you hit the E button from the main menu, it will take you to the email menu, and you can simply hit R to read messages sent to you. So here's an example of the welcome message. And at most of these, you can hit the question mark to bring up a list of commands available to you at that moment. So simply hit Q twice to get back to the main menu. There is also chat functionality if someone else is currently online, which you can check by hitting Control U. So we can see it's only my test user online at the moment. And some other things on the right-hand side, you can hit the D button to go back to those settings and change any ones you wish. And one thing that will be useful is if you hit the ampersand button for the message scan options. When you tell the system to scan for new messages, here's where you set up your options on which areas you wish to scan. So for instance, you could leave all the local ones to on and turn off any and all of the DovNet ones if you do not wish to see messages from other BBSs. And what that will do is when you hit the N button under the messages menu to scan for new messages, it will only show messages in boards you have turned on. And that can greatly cut down the list of messages you have to go through each time you scan. That is about it for using the system. To disconnect, simply hit the O button to log off and say yes to confirm, and it will disconnect you from the system. If you have any problems or questions while using the BBS, you can either post a message on the local help subboard by hitting J to choose the message area as local, and then 1 and 3 for the help board, then hitting the P button to post a new message. Enter in a subject, and a description of the issue, and then hit Control-A to save and send the message. You can, as always, as well, post a problem or question to me from the website in your dashboard using the problem and question button, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching.